Compassion is a journey, not a destination. There are many paths for the mystic to find or attain illumination, which compassion is an integral part or element of that journey. There is meditation, silence, devotion, study, ecstatic surrender, and much more. But the quest for sustainable compassion will only come through understanding, love, and acceptance. Many mystics know this is true, and this is why it is commonly said that enlightenment is not an instant thing. It is your great work. True compassion, not of the temporal, sentimental type, grows slowly and quietly. And when the heart is no longer defending against the world and everything that happens, you will know you are on the right path. Compassion is the softening of the heart to the point where the focus is on a unified love instead of fear of the unknown, misunderstanding, or even pain and suffering. This can be realized as the willingness to witness another's pain without retreat, to replace fear with love, judgment with curiosity and sympathy, to let the boundaries of the self blur for the sake of all living beings as one. Oneness, love, and compassion are essential for true enlightenment and peace profound. How do we get there? First, acknowledge who and where you are. Second, accept the work and service that is ahead of you in life. And third, open the door and begin the journey daily rather than just thinking about it. Compassion really is a path to illumination. Learning and practicing true compassion is a journey that will last forever. It is about the journey and experience, learning as you go, including the temporal ups and downs. Love, understanding, and oneness are the key fundamental principles. Illumination is not a grand moment where you have arrived and you're done. Illumination and compassion grow from daily experiences, work, service, trials, and challenges. Some practical actions that can be used to nurture this growth are pausing irritation to listen more deeply and even curiously. Assess the situations rather than with judgment. Offering help without seeking praise or acknowledgement. Seeing the pain within another's suffering or anger. Everyone is experiencing what they may need to experience. Experience life, each moment, and adjust accordingly without judgment of others or yourself. And be conscious in thought, word, and action, and continue to move forward. Some fundamental Rosicrucian and Hermetic principles and practices that apply to this journey to illumination and compassion are all is one. We are all connected. As above, so below. As within is as without or outside of you. This idea of universal or divine, cosmic, and higher love. And then specific practices that may apply to compassion are kindness, understanding, and the quest for peace profound. Fundamental key practices that apply to all mystics are reflection, meditation, adjustment, and service. Compassion is not merely a feeling, it is a mode of perception. This perception is a shift from seeing the surface, like behavior, flaws, roles, etc., to see what lives underneath those aspects, like fear, longing, pain, suffering, or just basic humanity. This shift is the path of illumination, as it dispels the false boundaries between self and the others. You know when your shift starts to become realized because your problem becomes our problem and they become us. This perception and shift does not come overnight, as the shift is gradual and comes and goes depending on where you are in life. The journey of compassion and oneness reveals the common spark of consciousness present in all beings. This adjustment in perception will allow the ego to release control and allow the heart to open and enlightenment to rise. Compassion clears the inner mirror. Start with yourself by focusing on your personal journey while embracing the shared journey of all humanity. Here are just a few key tips to help you along this journey. Ask yourself, what do you need to learn or experience? Embrace the experience and journey, even the unexpected. Be present, assess, and adjust daily. Take one moment and day at a time. Release anger, jealousy, and envy, and bitterness, and hatred, and fear. You can only control so much. Manage and mitigate because you cannot eliminate, or for that matter, control. Enjoy every moment. And of course, this is easier said than done, but it's very important to enjoy every moment, even in the craziest of times. Focus on non-temporal happiness, a happiness or joy that is not dependent or related to time and space, of which I call peace profound. This concept of peace profound is very relevant to this journey of sustainable peace within and compassion. It is the harmony of man's accord with the cosmic, which brings a warm glow of contentment throughout one's whole being. If we truly have gained peace profound within our minds, we're able to face all challenging conditions with a philosophical attitude and detached attitude. H. Spencer Lewis. It is important to understand that this is not a state of mind where you acknowledge where everything is happening. You do care what is happening. You do care about people, but you do not get lost or wrapped up in the situation as you consciously, philosophically, and of course, compassionately assess your thought and actions. Consider this possibility. Maybe everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Often we see others and ourselves trying to fix everyone and everything else because we may see things through our personal perception of reality. One key Rosicrucian principle is to start within ourselves and close in our close circle of life where we have more influence. And if everyone does this, the world will become a better place for everyone. So start with yourself today. Right now, beginning with your thoughts, words, and actions. Stop assessing what everyone else should be or be doing. Compassion is understanding and not necessarily agreeing. You can have compassion for someone or a situation, even if you disagree with the person or the situation. Everyone has something to bring to this shared journey. Pay attention. Judgment is our accuser devil. The devil, demon, or Satan has been used in many and various cultures and traditions and contexts, but usually has been used or is referenced as a bad, evil, tempter, accuser, adversary, opposer. Judgment of self is one of your worst enemies in a healthy personal growth and development and progress. Judgment of others is your barrier to true compassion. One exercise I could recommend is to honestly try to not judge others for just one day and count how many times you find yourself going down that path in thought. Be present, assess, and adjust. You create your own reality in thought and action. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and move forward with love. And of course, I couldn't mention the hot button devil word without truly expressing some of the very positive traditional spiritual or mystical views of compassion. In almost all mystical traditions, compassion is described as the dissolver of self-centeredness and an expression of a higher love. In Buddhism, compassion is a force that keeps the enlightened being connected to the material or formative world to help others awaken. In Christianity, compassion becomes agape, a divine love that shares in the suffering and experience of creation to redeem humanity and return to the divine. In Sufism, compassion is the warmth of the heart polished by remembrance, allowing one to reflect in the divine qualities. In Taoism, compassion is one of the three treasures, specifically the quality that aligns human life with the effortless harmony of the Tao. In each tradition, compassion is both the path and the result of illumination. What about the ancient Greek and Roman philosophical or mystical path of Stoicism as it relates to compassion? Stoicism can be very helpful in shifting your consciousness, thought processes, to a practice of non judgment, understanding, and sustainable compassion. Stoicism focuses on living virtuous life by cultivating wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. It teaches that the universe operates according to reason and that the individual should concentrate on what is within their control, their thoughts, actions, and character, while accepting what is not. Some principles and practices of Stoicism are cultivating wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation and temperance, living in accordance with nature or natural laws, focusing on the present, love of fate, embrace what happens, develop a rational and resilient mindset, control your reactions, use objective understanding, see obstacles as opportunities. Compassion is in alignment with other Stoic ideas of interconnectedness, social duty, empathy, and self-transformation. Practicing Stoicism does not mean that you do not care about a person, only that you accept the realities and help where you can as a fellow being on a shared journey, while striving to be a better person within yourself. We also have this mystical concept of dissolving of the self. When you extend genuine compassion, the sense of me begins to shift to us, and separation starts to feel like an illusion, artificial or temporal. All suffering becomes part of your awareness, hopefully without overwhelming you. This brings us to the personal alchemical context of the realization or even acceptance of the actualities of trauma, suffering, pain, or even awakening revelations, any of which may destroy the world you knew. This alchemical process of calcination and the following alchemical process of dissolution, where we can take the results or ashes from the previous process and combine it with the water of our heart and emotions to reflect within and move forward with compassion for others and ourselves. This process involves the immersion in the unconscious, rejected part of our non-rational mind or heart, where the boundaries of self become even more blurry. This is a time to make this potentially dark moment into an opportunity to transform fear into understanding, anger into clarity, pain into connection, ignorance into wisdom, and so much more. Rather than avoiding suffering, compassion allows us to reflect, forgive, release, adjust, accept, and be present within and with others. See this as an opportunity, not punishment or that misunderstood blame guilt word karma. Just move forward. Positive thought. So how does this dissolution of self fit into the big picture of the 7 alchemical processes of life? It's pretty big. Everyone is going through these 7 alchemical processes of life. Every day, understanding these processes in life may inspire an understanding and, most importantly, compassion for what other people may be going through at any point in their lives. And yes, that includes you. Compassion is a two-way street or path. By having compassion, not only for others, but also for yourself in what you may need to go through. This means embracing the processes as something we may need to do, learn, or experience for us to move forward on our path of illumination. I'm just going to briefly run through these 7 processes. Calcination, where we may have something extreme, traumatic, or significant awakening or consciousness. This involves the destruction of the ego and all its defensive mechanisms, which is an opportunity to release and move on. Dissolution, where we can take the results or ashes from the previous process and combine it with the water of our heart and emotions. This process involves the immersion in the unconscious, rejected, or blocked part of our heart or non-rational mind. Separation, reclaiming the dreams and visions previously rejected or forgotten within our mind and heart, where your creative consciousness creates the new path for yourself and manifestation of the path forward. Conjunction, empowerment of your true self by embracing the whole you in mind and heart, in balance and in harmony. Fermentation, releasing the fears and limits and embracing the new experiences and opportunities where this is an inner guidance and a surrender allowing you to move forward. Distillation, purifying of self with the raising of consciousness by releasing and regrounding, of which you may interpret as a stage of harmonization and transformation. And coagulation, a new confidence and knowing through the heart and consciousness, and hopefully the realization of being one with the all. Mastery of self and embracing cosmic consciousness. And yes, you're never actually done with these transformative processes, and you may need to loop back and learn or experience something that you missed or were not ready for at the time. Rarely can I discuss a journey and alchemy without briefly showing the wanderer on the quest to enlightenment, in this case, the full tarot key and loyal dog companion of consciousness and reason, just as Dorothy and Toto in the Land of Oz on her journey. In this case, depicted in Le Tableau, or table, with the 7 columns that correspond to the previously described 7 alchemical processes of life's journey. First, the column of calcination, release from bondage. Second, dissolution or awakening with new inner potential. Third, separation or revelation to move forward on the chosen path. And fifth, fermentation or regeneration of the new self and purpose. Sixth, distillation or realization of higher purpose and communion with your master within. And finally, the 7th, coagulation or mastery of self and oneness of all. I will leave these thoughts for you to explore on your own when you're ready. Opportunities of compassion, enlightenment, experience, lessons, or initiation may come when you least expect it. Keep your mind and heart open. In the case of the Fool, or for that matter, Dorothy, neither of them let fear hold them back from their journey along the path of enlightenment. In Dorothy's case, while her focus was on getting home and her problems, without her compassion for her newfound friends along the path, she may have not discovered her inner personal strengths and the magic she already possesses within. Embrace the experience of oneness. Practice the principles of understanding, acceptance, and love. Practice good, kind, caring, and nurturing behavior in life that align with natural law and without judgment. You will naturally be on the path to enlightenment and compassion as an integral, healthy being of the all oneness. Remember, there is no place like home, and in this case, it is your master within. And if you didn't pick up on the mystical aspects of the Wizard of Oz story, it is one of the best metaphorical, hermetic, alchemical, and initiatic journeys of all times, as it involves the elements, the alchemical processes, esoteric symbolism, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, acceptance, and the awakening to enlightenment. Dorothy was the personal soul of unfoldment, with a compassion for all beings, and more specifically, her 4 journey companions, symbolically representing the divine essence manifest in the mystical elements of fire, water, air, and earth, which actually reside within Dorothy and each of us. And don't forget Toto, or the Latin word for all or everything. And the Tin Man was the aspect of doing the work and finding the heart of compassion that was already present within. All of this being said, you do not need a wizard to tell you that you already have a heart for compassion. Just embrace the journey and continue down the path of enlightenment and compassion at your own pace each day. Love and peace profound.